It's very difficult to get into the shoes of somebody who comes from a different gender to you, or a different race, or a different sexuality, or a different generation, or other differences like that. I'm thinking about this because of rape. There was a story or a discussion in a Facebook group I was in a few months back about a 12-year-old girl who had been raped and made pregnant, and the discussion as to whether she should be allowed an abortion or not. I was surprised there was a discussion about it personally. My wife was raped about a year before we started going out with each other, and I think we are used to people getting better. So if you fall down and cut yourself, your skin heals. If you break a leg, it's put in plaster, and several months later, it's okay. So we expect somebody who's been through a traumatic experience like that to heal after a few months. Rape isn't quite the same as that. It took my wife 40 years, really, to come to terms with what had happened to her. And I think we need to bear in mind how serious rape is before making decisions, especially for a young girl. And I worry about men because we find it almost impossible to understand what it's like to be a woman. And even though I've observed my wife over 40 years, I can never know what it's like for her. So I'm not sure that I have the right to make a decision for a woman. As for that 12-year-old girl, I don't know what happened in the end, but a rape is traumatic. To then have to carry the baby of your rapist for 9 months, to give birth when you're not fully mature, when your body is not fully mature, to make a decision about what happens to that baby? No. Those experiences are far too traumatic for any one young woman to bear. She should certainly have an abortion, and I hope that she did.
It ain't necessarily so. It ain't necessarily so. The things that you're liable to read in the Bible, it ain't necessarily